This is the sacrosanct tarmac of the Buddh International Circuit, and we are standing at the start of the final race day of the 2014 racing season. My name is Abhishek Naren Singh. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 17th JK Tyre Racing Championship. Roll clip.
I'm ready.
The track was damp, made it really interesting for all of us, because you never know how many times you're going to have lead changes every lap. It was really exciting. I enjoyed it. I think the crowd did too.
In years, there were only two things. Is number one, to match up our boys in the age category with the rest of the players in the world, and second, to advance in technology. And with BMW powered Formula cars, making the cut, along with whatever contribution our saloon category of Polo cars do. And with all the drivers on BMW grid between 14 and 16, I think we achieved the whole goal pretty okay.
JK Tyre Motorsports, we create talent. And we create Indian talent in the world map of motorsports. And we have done a decent job of it, and we're looking forward to more such Indians being thrown up and showcase to the world and participate and win maybe an F1 one day. Why not? And we are very, very excited, and I have great satisfaction when I look back. And we want to pursue this cause and create more such talent in India. And I hope in India as a country, we do recognize motorsports as a serious sport, which still requires to be done.
JK Tyre's association with Indian motorsport began 3 decades ago, when the company took a conscious decision to lay down a long-term and sustained approach to promote Indian motorsport.
Back when we took this constructive decision that we are going to invest on motorsport, and the company got the whole package together. I was from the motorsport background, I was inducted in. We were from an era of rallying, and it was after 7 successive years that we realized that if you need to give a fillip to the sport, if you want the sport to be looked at by common man, you need to go back to the drawing board, you need to go back to a stadium sport. And that's how in 1997 we got this whole package together of racing, where we had a 800cc powered single-seater racing car, and we used to have Maruti Esteems as our saloon category. This is how we started, with very, very humble background. And as they say, rest is history.
And over these 3 decades, through the efforts of its motorsport division, the company has been associated with events in all forms of motorsport in India. From the JK Tyre Rally of Coimbatore, which is part of the National Rally Championship, to the TST format JK Tyre Hornbill Rally, held annually in Nagaland, and most recently, the JK Tyre Arunachal Festival of Speed, held for the first time in 2014 in the town of Dirang, Arunachal Pradesh. In the racing format, JK Tyre has the distinction of hosting the JK Tyre National Racing Championship, which is now in its 17th year, and the JK Tyre Rotax Max National Karting Championship, which has been going strong since the past decade and now in its 11th year. In all these years, it has been JK Tyre Motorsports' endeavour to break away from the elitist image that the sport has and make motorsport in India more affordable, and at the same time ensure that it is at par with international operating standards, and at the same time promoting Indian motorsport talent and making India a force to be reckoned with in the world of international motorsport.
You see, today we are in the bestest of situation, because I don't think we should look at this championship or any other scenario. We should look at Indian scenario. and we should be very proud that we have this fantastic entry level 100% Indian car, and as I said, is the cheapest form of racing that is available in the world. So come to the Indian driver. He has now got a program. He starts from 4-stroke karting in the backyard of his town, graduates to 2-stroke, graduates to LGB, graduates to the higher levels. So I would say if a kid has it in him, he can train himself in this country and actually now launch his career from F3 and above when he goes abroad, which was not the scenario earlier.
I'm standing at the starting grid of the Buddh International Circuit, some of the world's most fastest and technical racing tarmac. And as we bring the 2014 racing season to a close, stand by for some hard-fought and high-octane racing action.
The pit lanes of the Buddh International Circuit were palpably tense as the drivers arrived for day 2 of the final round of the 17th JK Tyre Racing Championship. The weather, which was tricky on day 1, turned worse on day 2 with an intermittent light drizzle rendering the track slippery and cold, with drivers struggling to get traction and heat in their brakes and tyres. In such conditions, drivers not only had to worry about going full throttle to chase the race wins, but they also needed to dig deep and stay sharp in order to keep their cars in control and hold the racing line. To their credit though, the men behind the wheels provided thrilling action and hard racing with the crowds going wild. Day's racing began with the second race of the JK Racing India Series, the FB02, formerly known as Formula BMW. The track conditions were not the best considering the rain, and the race began under safety car since the most powerful cars in the championship went out on slick tyres. As the cars lined up in front of the Christmas tree, the focus was on the title contenders Vishnu Prasad and Akhil Rabindra, and of course Arman Ibrahim.
Clear it was consistency, track aggression, a little more positivity in their driving, and because they know the cars well right now. I think 90% of them in the second year, and the other 10 have driven the whole year, so it's not that difficult to learn, and it's only 2 circuits. So I think consistency is still a key where they can still improve. Pushing again, 110% of the car is getting comfortable with the car moving about, and you're pushing it, getting the limits, reaching the limits of the car. Still, I don't think they're at the absolute limit. But it's also because they've been, cushioned to fighting amongst themselves and not had like a proper benchmark. Whereas I think that's why it's a good idea for us to come and drive, not to showboat, but also for them to learn. And so now there's a new benchmark for them, and so every time we go out, we improve as well. Because I think as a driver, for me, it's not like I'm not learning anything. Every time I get to drive a car, whatever it may be, I get to learn. So it's the same for everyone else. And as we keep improving, they need to improve as well. And I guess that way it pushes their limits, and they improve as drivers as well. So they don't just stay in that. They exceed their comfort zone, and that's what the whole process is about. So when they move ahead to the next level, they actually know what to expect, and they push themselves that much harder.
With the race starting and the safety car getting out of the way, the drivers adjusted the conditions quickly and the leading duo pulled away from the pack, with Arman fighting his way all the way from the back. Arman caught up and overtook Vishnu Prasad, taking the checkered flag, but being a guest driver, his win didn't count, making Prasad the winner for the second time that weekend. Akhil Rabindra managed to hold on to his second place despite coming under pressure from Krishna Raj Mahadik in the last part of the race.
Akhil got used to the conditions really quickly from me, he pulled away a pretty big lead, I think about a 3-second lead, and I managed to keep the same distance. Towards the end of the race, I think he fell back a little bit, and I could capitalize on it. Coming to the last corner, he braked a little bit earlier, so I dived in and passed him on the line. So yeah, it was a pretty good race, and managed to win that one as well.
A small mistake by me costed me first position to Vishnu. On the last lap, last corner, he overtook me on my outside. So a good race to him. It makes our championship fight more interesting.
I was actually happy both of them fighting as they were losing a lot of time, and yeah, obviously if the third person is always looking for that gap to win the race, and yeah, they both raced really well. I had the pace with them, but then till the last lap they pulled off a bit, and in the last corner Vishnu made a wonderful move on Akhil by which he won the race.
The Buddh International Circuit were palpably tense as the drivers arrived for day 2 of the final round of the 17th JK Tyre Racing Championship. In race 3 of the JK Racing India series, Arman took his third win of the weekend in a row. However, as per the rules of the series, the first place on the podium went to Akhil Rabindra. The Bangalore-based driver was made to work very hard for his first win of the weekend by both Kumar and Prasad, who finished in second and third places respectively.
I guess for 2 laps I was running first when Akhil caught up to me. Akhil had phenomenal speed, and even Arman. So I tried defending my best, but then they were too quick. So I just had to fall back and just tried following them. And during the end of the race, Vishnu started catching me up. I started making mistakes, but it was I had good cushion ahead of Vishnu. But then it was a good race for me. He couldn't get close to me because it was almost the end of the race. I think on the third lap I overtook Vishnu, and on the fourth lap I overtook Sandeep, which put me in the lead. I had a good pace in the wet, so I just pulled away from Sandeep and Vishnu. And once I couldn't see Sandeep in my mirrors, I backed off a bit.
Moving on to the Volkswagen Polo R Cup, the championship was still wide open till the last race, and the stakes were high for all contenders for the big prize. With these conditions in mind, it would be difficult to predict the winners till the last round, and in the end, it was Ameya Bafna who won the second race on Saturday, emerging as the worthy winner in the final race of the season. Kartik Tharani, who fought hard with the winner all the way till the end, had to settle for the second highest spot on the podium, but it was he who won the championship. Lee Keshav Gupta, who started the weekend as one of the championship contenders, came home in third after a forgettable racing weekend.
Decent start this time. I finally learned how to launch the car. I stuck in third place, which that gave me confidence right there. Before going into the first corner, I was confident because I got my launch right. So what happened in the first race then played on my mind, and I was a bit happy. I was right behind Lee Keshav for the first lap, but I think he was a little pressurized and he was making a couple of mistakes, so I got him. It was a bit hard for me to pass Kartik Tharani. He was really consistent, and I really had to keep pushing the car really to the limit to get him.
The weather was very tricky. There was enough rain to make the track greasy. It was not too much, but it still was greasy and made the car slide around a lot more, and it's probably the worst condition to go racing in.
I started second on the grid. I got a great start and I got Kartik at the start. I was first. I was leading the race, and then in turn 3 Kartik just made a really aggressive move. And because he was fighting for the championship, I didn't want to ruin it, so I had to, give him the space. And I made a small mistake myself. 2-3 turns later, I completely lost the car. I was going fully sideways. I'm going to crash into something. But the Polo has really good control, so I caught the car back. I was still running second. Then Ameya had better pace than me, so he caught me, and then he made an overtake. So I just wanted to be safe, so I let him pass.
What had the crowd on their feet though was the tight racing action of the JK Formula LGB F4, and there were times when you had 4 cars abreast on what was a slippery track. Once the 5 red lights went out, Diljit TS from Dark Dawn Racing, Vishnu Prasad from Miko Racing, Kartik Shankar from Team Avalanche and Sandeep Kumar from Miko Racing left the rest of the field eating their spray. Diljit, who had sealed the championship on Saturday, opened a slim lead as Prasad, Shankar and Kumar swapped track positions with every passing lap. But on lap 6, Diljit and Kumar came together, which resulted in a puncture for the champ. Once he started falling back, Prasad took the lead, which he held till the flag after fending off a desperate lunge from Kumar on the last corner, just before crossing the finish line. Shankar too had to fight till the flag for his third place.
It's been a tough year in the Formula 4 because we've had our ups and downs, and especially, I mean, in the wet, it's even better. So because the conditions are a lot more harder, and yeah, I felt really excited.
I had a good start, bomb start. I guess at the end of lap 1, I was already fighting for the winner position. And then I was following Diljit and I made a couple of mistakes, and I saw Vishnu behind me and he was a bit quick, so I thought I let him pass so that he could then catch up to Diljit, and then we all could have a good race, and it happened the same way.
Conditions on the track were tricky on 4 wheels, but if you had only 2, things got quite hairy, and that's what the riders of the JK Superbikes Cup found out. Taming those litre class beasts is not easy in the best of conditions, but on a wet, slippery track, it was nigh impossible. But impossible is what motorsports is all about. Kulwant Singh, who was leading the championship going into the final round, found out the hard way when he skidded going into the first corner. With the champ down, the rest of the field realized that discretion was the better part of valor, and after 5 laps of heart-stopping racing, Manmeet Singh crossed the finish line ahead of Vijay Singh and Ashir Agarwal.
You've done your studies, you've done your track days, you've done your qualifying and everything, and you're prepped. Now it's just time to sit down and write what you know and see where you end up. So at the starting grid, it's always like that, you know, I've become a little child again and just focused on one thing, that you got to launch and take it corner to corner. So, I mean, I was excited when the race was going to start. I didn't experience too much wheel spin or losing the bike too much, so, you know, it felt good. Yeah? I just got lucky, I guess.
I had my basics right. I knew I had to roll on the throttle in an even manner, light braking and all that crap. But yeah, just to take it smooth and not fall. That was the main goal for the race today.
Winning this first JK Superbikes Cup was Manmeet Singh with 24 points. Gurvinder Singh came in second place with 20 and Ashir Agarwal placed third with 18 overall points. In the final count, Vishnu Prasad emerged as the champion in the 2014 JK Racing India Series FP02 for the second time in a row with 104 points, followed by Akhil Rabindra with 88 points and Anand Shanmugam in third with 55 points.
Definitely, it's been a great year so far, and I can't wait for the F3 test that I will get, and I want to do that and probably do well there, and definitely race abroad next year if I can find the budget for it. It's been a fantastic year, and hopefully I can race abroad now.
In the JK Formula LGB F4 category, Diljit TS took the first place of the championship with 98 points, followed by Vishnu Prasad with 76 points and Sudarshan Rao with 52.
I had a plan to finish somewhere, I just needed 6 points to seal my championship. So I was pretty confident that, to finish somewhere on the top 5, so I can seal my championship, I can be safe on my championship.
Moving on to the Volkswagen Polo R Cup, Kartik Tharani took the 2014 championship with 358 points. Karminder Pal Singh landed in second place with 347 points, and coming in third for this year was Bonnie Thomas with 296 points.
Finished the championship, it feels great. And onwards and upwards to next year. This is just the beginning. We have to focus on next year on what category we're going to race in. So everything looks positive.
The youngsters are really, really good. I mean, in fact, even though I have more experience when compared to the rallying front, not from the racing front, I should really say that I've learned quite a few things from these young boys. They are really good, they're really talented, and it shows how committed they are, and the hard work really pays off. And I really look into their data, and I say that I've improved almost 50% in the first year alone. So I'm hoping to learn from them and of course from VW in the coming years. And for a first time racing, I'm happy.
And that brings us to the end of another high-octane racing season. You can catch the complete JK Tyre Racing Lines series online on timesnow.tv and follow Times Now on Facebook and Twitter for telecast updates and schedule. And that brings us to the end of the 2014 racing season. We'll be back next weekend with our final episode, featuring a wrap of all the action from the season's hard-fought championships. Stay tuned, same time next week.